Okay guys, so I'm going to make a start. Welcome to tonight's induction webinar. This is part of the 10-step system, and specifically tonight we're talking about 4 steps to success, as you can see there. So what I'm going to talk about is firstly give you a bit of an introduction to the retail side. We're going to go through it in a little bit of detail. Secondly, sorry, I will warn you up front, I've got a little bit of a cough which I'm struggling to get rid of. So if you have a pause, I haven't given up on you. I'm just having a bit of a drink from my hot drink. So secondly, I'm going to talk about the importance of your sponsor and communicating with the person who brought you in. So that might be Jan or Dave and Lynn. I'm going to talk to you about the system that you'll be learning. So we've mentioned the 10-step system. That's such an important part of our business. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on that with you. And then the last bit, and this is the bit where your sponsor is really going to help you out, is all about sharing the opportunity. So the first 3 bits are probably things that you'll do mostly on your own. The 4th bit is where you'll do that mostly with your sponsor. So on the retail side, sorry, there are a couple of golden rules just to bear in mind as you go through your learning of the different ways to retail and make some retail profit. So the first golden rule is if you're earning retail profit on Facebook, you need to be joining 50 or so local groups, and you need to be posting 3 products in those groups daily. So this is really important at the beginning, especially while you're building up your own selling group. And what you'll find is after 2, 3, 4 months, your own selling group becomes big enough that you can focus your attention on that. But at the beginning, it's really important to get in as many local groups as you can, and we aim for 50. If you're mainly doing the catalogues, and we're not going to talk about the catalogues a lot this evening, the Wednesday night webinars are where most of the catalogue training will be. But if you're doing catalogues, the golden rule is either presenting 100 to 150 catalogues a week, or posting through the letterboxes 400 to 600 books a week. So as you start off with 250 sets of catalogues, you need to get those out really at least twice a week to build your customer base as quickly as you can. And there's a couple of examples just coming up of people who've done exactly that. This is Kerry. As you can see, in her first full month doing this business part-time around her family, she's earned herself over £500. Now she probably started at the beginning of the month, so maybe at a couple of weeks in the previous month, and then in her first full month over £500, and that's fantastic. And she actually lives just a few minutes from 2 other successful distributors. So if you're thinking, oh, but I've got somebody else who does Facebook very close to me, and I always see them in our groups, in the groups that I was posting in, don't worry at all. There's so many customers out there, you've got no problem at all with that. So that's Kerry. And another example here, this is Stephanie. Stephanie joined by seeing an advert in a selling group, and she made, in her first 2 weeks, she made over £350, and she helped 3 new people to join. Now the importance of that is, a lot of people, when you first join a new business, if people say to you, oh well, maybe you'd like to be a team leader, or maybe you'd like to share it with other people, it's easy to think, well, I'll wait until I know that it works, and then when I know what I'm doing a little bit, and then I might start telling a few people about it. But if you just do it as soon as you're in the business, then that will actually help you to grow a much bigger income for yourself. And you don't need to know a lot. I always heard somebody say, if you join the business, within a week, you know how to help somebody get to have their first week. And to be honest, even if you've only been in the business a day, your sponsor can show your new starter how to do it while you're learning how to do it. So that's the whole point of having a sponsor who's going to help you with this. So that's a great example from Stephanie. So we're going to talk a bit now about the retail side in a bit more detail, and specifically the online side. So you start off by setting up your own local selling group. And if you've watched the videos on the Getting Started section of the 10 Steps website, you'll have seen how to do that. And you start joining other local groups in your area. Now, if you're already in lots of groups, that's fantastic. But if you're not, then just join 5 or 6 groups a day. Don't kind of try and find 50 and join them all at once. Otherwise, Facebook can think it's a bit suspicious and you can get restrictions. And a good thing to do is when you're in these other groups, start to build up a little bit of rapport with other people who are in there. So you might see some posts that you're interested in or that you like the look of. You can just put a little comment on saying, oh, this is really pretty, whatever it is, just so that you start to build up a rapport with people, rather than just going into loads of groups and going, post with loads of selling things, in which case it kind of comes across a bit spammy. But what I would say is, in those groups, when you join those groups, post 3 products every day. What you're trying to do is get your brand out there and build it up gradually so that you're posting in 50 local selling groups each day. If you haven't yet watched them, the Getting Started Online section of www.the10steps.info is where you'll find all the videos that show you how to do this. That's what it looks like. That's the website. So if you go to the10steps.info, you'll see the menu options down the left-hand side there. Just below the home page, second one down there, Get Started Online. Click on that and you'll see all the videos numbered. I think this is an old picture. I think there's about 10 videos now. So it shows you some of the other bits about how people can use PayPal and so on as well. So that's a great place to get started if you haven't done that already. So the selling process actually consists of 2 different parts. So the first bit is posting your advert. So what's important to do is to check the stock checker. So once you've chosen a product and your sponsor can help you with some suggestions for what to post first, learn how to use the stock checker, which is in the, again, it's in one of those videos, but the website you need to go to is the Clean Easy distributor website, which is cleaneasy.co.uk. Just check that there's a reasonable number in stock. And what I mean by that is, I would say, if you've got a product that's, say, £10 or less, make sure that there's at least 100 in stock. If it's more expensive, then you can, it's worth posting even if they kind of say 50 or so. If it's down to just a handful, then you're in danger of it getting out of stock before you had a chance to put your order in. Now, usually, Clean Easy are very good at bringing things back in stock before they go out of stock. But occasionally, if there's a big rush on things, you can find things that are out of stock. So when you do the stock check, if it's already out of stock, obviously it's worth waiting until it comes back in before you advertise that product. And when you're advertising, make sure that you post it as a person. Don't come across as too kind of professional and well, not professional, but too business-like. So if the price of a product is $9.99, just round it up to the nearest pound. Advertising something for a tenner, because people buy from people, so that comes across as much more friendly than at kind of $9.99 when you're trying to pretend you're slightly cheaper. And the other thing to do is when you're posting pictures, if you copy them directly from the cleaneasy.com website or the klife.co.uk website, make sure that you edit it. So just put a little border around it or a little smiley face on it or something like that, just to make it unique. Because if Facebook sees the same picture being used over and over again, then it can suspect that the picture's gone toxic and you can get restrictions on it. So just a little frame. If you're not sure how to do that yet, have a chat with your sponsor. There's loads of easy bits of software that you can use to do that. And the wording that goes with the picture only really needs to highlight the main details. You don't need to put the whole, all the dimensions, what the product is, what the delivery charges might be, all that. You just highlight the main parts of the main parts of the product, and make it friendly. In fact, you want to encourage people to ask questions, because that bumps your post up to the top of the group again, and it helps you to start building a bit of rapport with somebody. So make sure you're posting 3 different products in your group every day, and then, as it says at the bottom there, post those products in each of the other groups that you're already in. So 5, 10 at the beginning, building up to 50 a day. But do go steady on it. If you're not using Facebook a lot before you join the business, and you suddenly go in and join 50 groups and start putting 150 adverts in each one, all in one go, one morning, then Facebook will notice a big difference in your activity and suspect that your account's being hacked, so you can be restricted. So just build it up gradually. Maybe post 10 adverts into 10 groups. take a bit of a break, and then 10 more into some other groups, and so on. Kind of do it in slots and at different times of the day. Now, one of the things that you'll find is when you go into these groups, there are often a couple of different options for posting a post. So you'll often be asked, do you want to sell something or do you want to start a discussion? And what we recommend is you click Start Discussion, because what that does is that gives you effectively an open, like an unformatted section for just copying and pasting the text of your advert in there. If you click on Sell Something, it kind of formats it for you, and you have to put the price in, the location, the title, you have to put all sorts of stuff in there in particular fields. So it just takes a lot longer when you're filling the details in. So we recommend you use Start Discussion for that. Now, here's a couple of adverts from Craig Skellen, one of the leaders in the group. You can see here he's just put a picture of the oven rack, the 3-tier oven rack. Very brief description, kind of £10, increase your oven space with this 3-tier oven rack and the dimensions. That's it, very, very simple. The one beside that, there's the dog duvet set. He's made a little collage, which is a great idea, just kind of makes it stand out a little bit, with a little bit of text in there showing the price. So just very simple, doesn't have to be anything kind of flashy, but just kind of makes it stand out a little bit. And as you can see from the descriptions, they're very short. You don't want kind of 5-6 lines full of all sorts of information. So that's the first part of the process, which is posting the advert. Once you've got your live advert up and running, there's a few things that you need to do. So firstly, keep an eye out for messages. Obviously, if you get comments on your posts, then you'll get a notification for that. If somebody sends you a message request, because they might want to just send you a private message just to ask something about it, if you're not yet friends with that person, then rather than getting the message straight to your Facebook inbox, you get a message request, and then you can kind of choose to accept it or reject it. And you do get a chance to see it first. So obviously, if it's somebody saying something like, "Oh, can I order one of the duvet sets, please?" then it's a genuine message, and you can click accept on it, and then kind of start to reply to the customer and sort out delivery and so on. If somebody puts a comment on one of your pictures, then just click like on the comment so they know you've seen it, and then I would normally just reply underneath that with something like, thanks for your query, Sue, I will message you. And that way, if you're exchanging address details or anything like that, that's just done in private, not on the in public on the comments. A good thing to do, and you can do this once you've kind of started to message people, is send them a friend request. Now, not everyone's going to accept them, but you'll often find that people will, and that's a great way to allow you to start to build a bit of rapport with the customer, and they can start to see your lifestyle drip feeding to them as you're posting things up in your own Facebook timeline about your new business, which is going really, really well, and how much money you're earning. And these people are going to see that, and you will often find your first team members will come from your selling group precisely because of that. And if you do get any comments, as I say, reply with a personal message and just chat as a person. You need to be professional but friendly, and as an individual. You don't need to be too business-like. And what I always do is get a bit of commitment. If somebody wants to order something, just ask for their address and phone number. Even if they're going to come and collect it from you, it just shows a bit of commitment if they're willing to give you their address and phone number. And obviously, if it's local and you're going to deliver it to them, then you'll need their address anyway. And then just let them know when the order is likely to be available. So if you know you're going to be putting in an order at the end of the week or early next week, then it's 2 days for delivery, 2 working days for delivery, so you can then let them know when it's going to be here. And if they're not already in your selling group, now is a great time to either add them if they're a friend, or you can invite them and send them a link if they're not yet a friend. A good thing to do there, number 11 on the list there, is write yourself out a record of their order, either on an order form or just kind of in a little notebook or a little receipt book. Because what you'll find is, if you've just got 1 or 2 orders, you might sort of think, oh, well, it's easy, I'll just go and have a look through my messages, so it'll be easy to find them. But when you start getting 100, 200, 300 pounds worth of orders a week, and you might have 10, 20, 30 orders coming in, it's going to be really difficult to keep track of them all. So just writing out the name and address and contact details or something like that, just make sure that it's easier for you to keep track of them and easy for you to contact them once the goods arrive. And then when everything has arrived, just send them a message or a text or whatever details you've got from them to arrange the delivery or the collection. And a great thing to do at this point is to give them a catalogue. I would say K-like catalogues go really, really well. Give them a catalogue, arrange to go back and pick it up in a couple of days, and you'll often find you'll get extra orders because then they get the chance to see the whole range. Okay, so if you've started this business, and what you will find is if you've only ever had a job in the past where you've been told this is your start time, this is your end time, you kind of you don't really need to have a timetable as such, because you just go in when you know you have to go in, and you can leave when you know it's time to go. But when you're your own boss with your own business, you need to be quite disciplined at working out when you're going to do the business. You need to be able to commit at least 10 to 15 hours a week to this. And so you need to be aware of what are your other commitments. If you've got a school run to think about, if you've got a part-time job or a full-time job, then it's a really worthwhile exercise to do a weekly planner for yourself, block out the times that you're unavailable. Do this with your sponsor, because then the sponsor knows when it's good to contact you and what your plans are. And then you can put in the rest of the times, the 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day when you're planning to use that time to build your business. Now, really important part this, when you get orders from your customers and you send the orders off to head office deliver the goods to you, when your customers collect the goods from you or you deliver them, the customers are going to pay you. What's really important is that out of the money that you receive at that point, only a part of it is your profit, and the rest you need to send back to head office for the cost of the goods. And it's really important to keep that separate, because if you start using the money that you've got that's Clean Easy's money for other things, you're going to get into difficulties. So firstly, look at your invoice. You can print it out. It says on there what your retail profit is, and that's the amount that's yours. The rest of the money you have to send back to head office for the cost of the goods. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. You can pay that into a branch of the NatWest. And if you want to do that, you have to print off some gyro slips. Your sponsor can explain how to do that. The easiest way to do it, I find, is to pay all of the money into your own bank account, and then to pay what you owe head office, either doing that online on your Clean Easy account, or you can just ring our help desk, the service centre, and just pay using a debit card. They can say exactly how much they need to pay and just take all the details over the phone. So that's a good thing to do to make sure that once the money's in your account, you pay what you owe head office, and then what's left in your account is your profit from each order. Now, a number of things will happen when you start your business. You will find other distributors in buying and selling groups all around the country. This is a nationwide business, so there are lots of people all advertising everywhere. But carry on regardless, because there are 2,000, 2,500 different products and so many different customers on Facebook that even if you see somebody posting something that you posted yesterday, chances are different people will see those things and different people will see your things, and you'll get orders and they'll get orders, and everyone's making good money out of it. And the point of this at the beginning is that you're encouraging people to come and see what else you've got in your own group. And once you've got your own group that you're mainly working from, then you're in much more control then, because obviously you can spend more of your time advertising in your own group to your own customers. Don't listen to Joe Public. There's lots of people out there happy to give you advice on, that sort of thing never works. My dad did that once 3 years ago and didn't make any money. The fact that their dad wasn't really much of a hard worker might have nothing to do with it. But so don't take their advice. Just follow the system. Follow the advice of your sponsor. There's some great examples there of people that are doing really, really well from this business, and you can do exactly the same if you follow their advice. And what you will find is that you will have good days, medium days, and low days. You'll have days when you kind of put a few adverts up on Facebook, you don't do very much, wake up the next morning and you've got £50 worth of orders overnight while you're in sleep, while you're in bed. Other days when you put lots of work into it and you only get a couple of little orders and you're thinking, oh, that doesn't seem worthwhile. The point is, you always do that, but over the month, which is what your bonus is based on, it will all balance out. As long as you focus on the activity, then you'll get the results. So just focus on picking up, we say 20 customers a week. If you can get 20 customers a week, you're on your way to a very good income. Do bear in mind, people change their minds after they've ordered. It's exactly the same as, you go to Marks and Spencer's, you buy a shirt, you get it home and you think, oh, I'm not really sure if this matches the rest of my outfit now. You can take it back, no problem at all. And it's exactly the same with our business. People might change their mind, or, oh, it's not quite the same as I thought. So you can just return it, so you're not out of pocket and they're not out of pocket. They're much more likely to order from you again if you say that's no problem at all. So you can't really build a business without experiencing those ups and downs. But as I said, just put your trust in the advice and follow the system and you'll be absolutely fine. Here's a little example. I think this is Stacey. Stacey started a group at the beginning, obviously posting lots of things in her own group, posting lots of things in outside groups, and she built her group up to, well, you can see there, over nearly 5,000 members. Now, when we did these slides, which was, I don't know, probably 3-6 months ago, 5,000 members was quite a significant group. There weren't many people that had groups that big. However, these days, with the competitions that you can run that we'll be speaking about in a moment, you can build your group into much, much bigger than that. So, although you might start off with just 100 of your own friends, it's amazing how big you can grow this. And once you've got a nice big group with lots of people ordering from you, that's where you can focus your attention. And a great way to grow your group is to run a competition. There's loads of competitions at the moment. Easter egg competitions seem to be going particularly well at the moment. I think the whole world is going to be filled with Easter eggs with the way we're all going. So Easter egg competitions are going really, really well. But speak to your sponsor. There's always loads and loads of great things that you can do to run a little game, a little competition to get people into your group. There's a little guide, which I'll show you in a moment, from one of the leaders in the group called Carolyn Blacksall. If you go to the Getting Started Online section of that 10steps.info, in fact, I've got a feeling, is it on, oh no, it's not on that one, sorry. Yeah, go to the Getting Started Online section, which is where the Getting Started videos are. There's a document there you can download all about how to run a competition to boost your numbers. Okay, so we've kind of covered the retail part at the moment. The next section, step 2, is all about communicating upline. And by that we mean your sponsor. So that could be Jan or Dave and Lynn. And what we find is that people who regularly contact their sponsor, and by regularly we mean every day, are far more successful than those that don't. Now, what do we mean by contact? Well, it could just be a telephone call, a quick text saying, oh, really excited, got my first order today. An email just with a queries, a Facebook message, they're so quick these days to do that. A quick phone call or a Skype call, and they're really great because then you can see each other face to face. But make sure you speak to your sponsor every day, because if you come across any challenges, and you will, then it's far easier to get them sorted out if you've got a nice rapport with them. And you can just have a quick chat. Just say, oh, this happened. Not quite sure what to do about this. It's much easier for your sponsor to help you if you've been chatting every day. So, step 3 is all about learning the system. We talk about the 10-step success system. And this is the most important step to building a successful business. And what you can do about that is you need to be willing to learn. Your willingness to learn will determine your level of success. And it's actually quite simple. Your job is just to learn this simple system. Now at the beginning you might think, oh gosh, there seems to be a lot to take in, but don't worry, it's really a well tried and tested system that you'll be able to pick up very quickly. And our job is to teach you that system. And you learn it in a number of different ways. So by speaking every day to your sponsor, everything that your sponsor says to you, shows you how to do, is based on the 10-step system. Review your Facebook team group. Everything that we talk about, everything that we share in the team groups is based on the 10-step system. If you go to the Wednesday weekly webinars, every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, you'll get an email or a Facebook message about what the links are so you can join those. They're all based on the 10-step system. Now the workshop, this is probably the most important venue, the most important event for you to get to. This will really transform your business. I've got so many people, there are so many testimonials of people who have struggled with the business, or thought, oh, I'm not sure what I'm doing here, it seems to be working okay, but a bit slowly. They go to a workshop and it completely transforms them, because the workshop's basically where you learn in a lot more detail exactly how the system works. You'll meet the rest of the team there. There's a great big buzz of lots of new people in the business, all excited about learning how it all works. You'll hear fantastic stories, hints and tips that are the latest things that seem to be working particularly well. So the best advice I can give you, if you haven't already found out where your local workshop is and booked your ticket on it, then as soon as we finish here tonight, speak to Jan or speak to Dave, find out where your nearest workshop is and get yourself booked on it. And along with the workshop, there's a workbook so you can make your notes, so you don't have to kind of memorize everything that you learn. You can write it down. I always feel if you write something down, it's much more likely to stay with you. And you can get that workbook in on the 10steps.info website in the Getting Started section. There you go. There's a little section on it there, a little picture of it, sorry. Go into the 10 Steps website, so that's www.the10steps.info. On the left hand side where it says 10 Steps Success System, click on that, and there's 3 little documents to download. And I would recommend you print off the workbook because you'll be using it over and over again. Okay, step 4. Now this is where your sponsor really becomes valuable to you, because if you've got somebody who might be interested in earning a bit of extra money, you might not know this yet, then if you can show them how to earn a bit of extra money, the same as you're going to be doing, and they do that in your business, then you're going to be earning extra money even quicker than you can possibly do it yourself. Little example there of you doing your £1,000 worth of orders a month, which is what the system shows you how to do. And if you find a few more people to do that, what there is in the picture there, 10 or 12 people, instead of earning £200, maybe £300 a month, you could be earning £1,200 a month. That's 4 or 5 times as much just by sharing the opportunity. Now there's a number of ways we do that, and here's a few examples of what you can earn. Leanne and Michael there, when they first started sharing it, they got up to what's called a gold distributor very, very quickly, earning themselves £800 a month. Here's Louise. Louise did exactly the same, over £1,000. And Stacey and Lee just doing their own retail, exactly the same as everybody else does, but sharing it with a few other people. Look at that, over £1,500. Very part-time, Stacey and Lee. I know they both work full-time in Tesco's alongside this business, so you can certainly build it really big. So what your sponsor will help you to do is firstly share the opportunity with people that you know. And it's so easy these days. If you're thinking, well, I have no idea how many people, how on earth would I find them all? I always say, look, there's 2 places to look. Your Facebook friends list and your mobile phone contact list. You've probably got at least 400 people there that you could contact. So just work with your sponsor, go through that list. That's a great place to start. And the important thing to think about when you're doing this is we're not going to be saying to them, oh, I think you could do with a bit of extra money, why don't you join? What we're saying is, we've got this fantastic opportunity. Can you think of anybody who might be interested? Because it may be that they're not interested, but maybe their brother-in-law's just lost his job, or friend of a friend who's is expecting a baby and is worried about going back after maternity pay and all sorts of things. So it's the power of who they know. And you can find these people as well as in your own warm list, as you mentioned there. There is loads and loads of examples of people joining from your selling group. Now the beauty of this is when you've got a selling group, and people are seeing what you're doing, and they're buying from you, maybe they're entering competitions and winning prizes, if they then say that they're interested in earning some extra money when you advertise for it, they're really good leads because they know what's involved. They've seen you doing it. The selling group itself is a fantastic demonstration of how this business works. So advertising in your selling group is a great place to do it. Sending a direct message to a warm list member, so that's, as I say, a Facebook friend or somebody on your mobile phone contact list. And really easy to do that. Work with your sponsor. They'll give you some great words that you can use to contact people. And the other thing, is a great thing to do, and this is more of a longer term thing, is on your timeline, make sure that you start promoting the business. And by that what I mean is, you can just put little things up saying, oh, I love my Monday mornings now. It's just so exciting starting a new week on my new online business. And I've already earned 200 quid this month. I'm really looking forward to saving up for my holiday in Mallorca or whatever it might be. Because your friends are going to see the success that you're having, and they're going to be curious, and they're going to be thinking, hold on a minute, you were really struggling to save up for a holiday at Butlins last year, and now you've got a holiday in Mallorca and you've already booked Greece as well. They're going to want to know what's going on, and they're going to join your business. Now, when you are advertising in your own Facebook group or in the groups around it, we don't use the word Clean Easy. Although Clean Easy are the main company that provide a lot of the products and everything, there are people who have got a preconceived idea that, oh yeah, Clean Easy is that company that my mum used to buy some mops from. And so, they've got no idea how things have changed since then, and they can just ignore, they can just miss the opportunity because they sort of think, oh, well, I wouldn't be interested in that sort of thing. So the brand is you. It's really important that, when you're advertising, you're building rapport with all of your customers, and obviously that your friends know what you're doing, because it's not all about the business. It's kind of being social. It's kind of showing people that you're really enjoying what you're doing. You're earning good money out of it. It's transforming your lifestyle, and then other people will want to join you. You can also put adverts into other local groups. So in the same way as you're promoting products, you can promote the opportunity. So here's an example. Stephanie did this. This is a picture of her first check. It just shows you the importance of working really hard to get a check quickly. And if you don't know how to get a check, speak to your sponsor. They'll explain to you exactly what you need to do. But Stephanie just put a little note up there saying, hey all, just going to share my first bonus check with you. I've only been in the business 18 days, and there's another 350 quid that she's made on Facebook. I mean, who on earth wouldn't be interested in that? Now, when people do reply, it's very simple. Your sponsor will work very closely with this, but basically what you'll do is there's a really short set of videos. You've probably seen them yourself. If you've just been in the business, you've probably received them from Jan or Dave, showing you the little independent you video and the products. You just send them that, walk through it with them, and what you'll find is over the next few days and weeks while you're getting up to speed, if you have got somebody who's really interested and would like to know a bit more, then your sponsor will help you have a chat with them. Now at the beginning, it's really important to work really hard to hit your bonus levels. And the reason it's important is, firstly, it proves to you that your business is working for you. But also, when you start hitting your bonus levels, that's when you get the checks that you can then use as tools in your groups and the surrounding groups to help grow your business. There's lots of different levels of bonus. I'm not going to go through them all in detail now, but basically you'll get your 30-day challenge at the beginning. Every time you put in an order of £150 or more, you get 50 free catalogues, or you can also get 20 free leads of people who might be interested in joining your business. And in your first 30 days, if you can get up to £600 worth of orders, on top of those free catalogues, you get an extra 50 free catalogues as well. So if you're not doing catalogues yet, then you can just give these catalogues to customers, friends, family. That's a great way to increase your orders. You get cash bonuses as well. And as you can see there, there's lots of different levels of cash bonuses. Typically, people tend to get bigger and bigger cash bonuses by introducing more and more people to the business. And that's what that picture is kind of demonstrating there. Now, in your first week, there's a bunch of things that you should aim to do. And there's this quick checklist that you should go through with your with your sponsor. So first thing you need to do is make sure you've got your selling group in place. Secondly, join a minimum of 50 groups, your local groups. That's really important, but do that gradually. Make sure you're posting adverts into your shop every day. It's really important that people see things going in every day. They like to see what new things. They start to get excited and anticipate what new things you're going to be putting in there. Whereas if it doesn't change for 4 or 5 days, people will stop coming to have a look. If you started with catalogs, make sure you get your catalogs out during your first week. But make sure you've attended at least 2 of the webinars. So tonight is one, fantastic. Wednesday night will be your first weekly webinar on a Wednesday night, so that will be the second one. You should have booked your workshop. Again, speak to your sponsor to find out where the local one is to you. Work with your sponsor to put a Just Curious advert in your own group. That's a great way to find people that might be interested in sharing the opportunity, even in your first week. And you can do exactly the same with your warm list. And the great thing to do at the end of the week, maybe when you've got a few of your friends in the group and you've posted some products in there, is run your first competition, because that can make a group grow from 100 to a couple of thousand really, really quickly. And lastly, make sure you've got a weekly review. This is just an opportunity with you and your sponsor to step back a little bit from the day-to-day work that you're doing and just make sure that you're happy with the way that everything's going. You don't have any kind of issues that you need help with at the beginning. Okay guys, that's pretty much covered everything I was going to go through this evening. I'm just going to stop the recording